It was a time of slowing down, of shutting up shop, tuning in at 5 o'clock and learning how to take up space differently. And going out for a walk was all you could do. They walked together at first, pack their backpacks with adventure snacks, go down the river past the barges or across town to campus, stand and watch the ducks dabble on the lake. They build shape into their days with meals and jobs and the radio on, and that summer's madness is hard to take. They don't eat out to help out. And as the nights draw in, their world gets smaller. They miss their grown-up son and daughter. The house feels wrong. He's bored and shut in, and she's short-tempered where she means to be tender. And she stands by the kettle with her arms crossed, daring it to boil. And he says, "You know, there are worse things happening all over the world." "Yes, thank you. I'm very well aware of that, but it doesn't help much, does it?" And she stirs her tea like she's trying to start a hurricane. And when they step out at dusk, they see a fox, a vixen sniffing bins, trotting through the lockdown suburbs like she owns the place. And old York has seen all this before, this silent cobbled city whose ancient walls are now bereft of footfall. And they pass the park, where he first let go of Anthony on his big boy bike, and where their Sarah got lost that time and shared her ice cream with a dog. And she remembers what it felt like back then, all round and ripe like a sweet pear full of promise, his strong arms around her swelling middle. And when the news comes on now, she turns it down. And when he washes his hands, he doesn't sing, he prays, though he's not sure who to. And she scowls and he sighs and shakes his head, because no matter what he says, it's wrong these days. And this part of their life was meant for days out and gardens and grandchildren. And she wonders if the world will ever make any kind of sense again, and then feels bad because she's a roof over her head and an online shop coming in an hour, and she's still breathing, she's still here. But they don't walk together anymore. He goes out past the big Tesco's up to Askham Bog, and she goes out up to Holgate Windmill, its sails set tight against the endless winter sky. And then something shifts. The seasons turn. Snowdrop, crocus, daffodil. And she says, "Come on, love, get your boots on, let's go for a walk, eh?" And they do. And she remembers last spring, when the world was bursting into life and they all had to shrink themselves in, and she thinks, no, this is how it should be. And as they walk, their hearts and breath fall back in step. And he looks more like himself outside. Everyone does. Everyone is as alive as the pink blossom rioting against the sky. And they get to Blue Bridge, and he slips his hand in hers and says, "Would you still rise early and wash your face in the first spring dew for me? Would you still crown me your May Queen and kiss me under the apple tree?" "I could be persuaded," he says. And they walk on, and as they walk, their city gently, carefully eases back to life. Hawthorn, bud and elderflower, swift and thrush and wren, along the path to Scarborough Bridge we'll find our love again. Spring, bring me spring. And you and I survived the winter time, and you and I will weather many more. It might not be what we've been hoping for, but it's you, my love.